Gen X College Dropout Live for December 10th, 2014. And like in previous days, I got up to use the bathroom in the morning and went back to bed and couldn't fall asleep again. So I decided not to sleep and get up and do stuff like LPD work. And I think around 11 a.m. I got some cereal and went back to looking at YouTube videos and other internet stuff. And let's see, some hours later, I had dinner, I guess, if you want to call it that. I'm always saying that. Anyway, and according to my notes, the dinner consisted of baked chicken, pinto beans, I think that's what they are, and some okra mixed with it. And I think around 4 p.m., more like 3 p.m., I took a nap and got up around 5 or 6 p.m. Yep, I can't remember everything. Okay, let's see. Eventually, 8 o'clock hit, and that's when I started watching TV. The first thing I saw was Arrow, where, spoiler alert, Ra's al Ghul defeated Oliver, which would be expected because Oliver, as good a fighter as he is, he doesn't have experience that Ra's al Ghul has. And after that came the 100. And in this episode, the Grounders were about to go to war against the Ark people, but then Clark came up with the idea of curing Grounders from the so-called Reaper Madness. I want to say that? I'll call it Reaper Madness, for lack of better words. Where scientists from Mount Weather would do experiments on Grounders, and in some cases they turn into killer monsters. And apparently they, spoiler alert, well, maybe not necessarily spoiler alert, but anyway, the Ark's chief medical officer, who's also Clark's mom, helped figure out how to reverse the effect, or at least minimize it, or some such thing. And then after that came Stalker, where some high society woman, I guess that's what she is, wrote a tell-all book about these various people that she doesn't like, I guess. And she got stalked for that, or some French friends got stalked, and all this other weird stuff. So I wasn't paying that much attention because I was, well, I was kind of paying attention, but more to the point, I was focusing on doing a lot of surveys at the same time the show was on. And if I remember correctly, I think I did 3 or 4 surveys on Inbox Dollars. It's probably the most surveys I've done in one day in months, possibly over a year. And now the last thing I want to bring up is the 100 Facebook group, the group for the show, the 100. And there's somebody on the group who thinks that Finn, who slaughtered innocent Grounders because he's a crazed killer, shouldn't be punished for that. Well, I'm one of those to say, well, he should, because if they don't hand Finn over to the Grounders are going to attack the Ark people, and there's a good chance the Ark people won't win the war. And besides, Finn is a crazed killer. I mean, it's like when the U.S. demanded that Osama bin Laden be handed over. Telling the Afghan government, hand them over or pay the consequences. And they said, the Afghan government said no, and Afghanistan got blown up essentially. Imagine that Afghanistan did hand over Osama bin Laden. Billions of dollars would have been saved, and thousands of lives also would have been saved. But well, I know this is a science fiction show, it's not real, and blah blah blah, but at the same time I like to contemplate these things. So I still insist that Finn needs to be handed over to the Grounders, and the Grounders can punish him however they want, because the fact of the matter is that killed a lot of their people for no good reason. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, that my notes seem to be at the end, or I seem to be at the end of my notes, so that means it's time for me to end this video. So, see you later, Ralph Nader.